All right, welcome back. We're going to look at the rest of these scenarios and decide, are they random? Are they going to give us a good representative sample or not? So if you didn't pause the video and try these already, go ahead and do that, and then we'll go through them. Okay, so the first one here, your teacher is selecting 5 students to help set up for a school dance. She puts everyone's name in a hat and selects 5 names without looking. Yeah, that sounds exactly like what a random sample is. It's a lottery. A cell phone company selects 500 customers from its database and then surveys those customers to find out if they like their phone service. Okay, so there's an interesting word missing here, and that's the word random. It just says they selected 500 customers, but we don't know how that selection was made. So for example, if you asked me to make those selections, one thing I would think about is customers like my sister. And don't get me wrong, I love my sister to death, but she's the one who calls anytime that there's a problem. We're all on a family plan. She's the one who calls because she's a lawyer and she loves to argue with them. And I'm so thankful because that's not my skill, right? But if I were choosing people to survey, I wouldn't pick my sister as one of those, right? I'd pick people that, oh, we haven't had any complaints from, or maybe we got some compliments from. And so for that reason, I'm thinking that this is not going to get us a good random representative sample. The owners of a local game store send 150 random customers a survey. This one's a little bit tricky. It does have the word random in it, which is definitely a great start. But I have a couple of questions here. So I don't know how they're getting that list of customers. If these are just people who signed up for fun, then you're probably missing a lot of people. If there's some sort of reward system or loyalty card, you probably have a lot more of your customers signed up, or at least the ones who are pretty invested in your store. So that might be okay. But you might also run afoul of this. There are people who don't like the loyalty cards because they feel like their information is being stolen and sold and things like that. So there are clubs of people who will take their Safeway card, they'll use it for 3 months, then they trade it with somebody else and that person uses the card for 3 months. And so you get all of these random different purchases. They can't really come up with any guesses about this person as to what their likes and dislikes are. So if these are people that are participating in that kind of thing, then you could also be running into a lot of bizarre issues. So I would say it at least sounds good on the surface. We would need to know more to really figure that one out. You want to know how many students in our school have broken a bone, so you survey the members of the football team. That's definitely not a great plan. That is going to give you a biased sample. The movie theater wants to know what genre of movies their customers enjoy. They survey all the people attending the children's matinee. So most likely, what do you think their answer is going to be? They're going to choose children's movies. This sounds like this is like, how could you make a mistake like that, right? But at one point in time, I ran a large city park and we decided that we were going to start a movie in the park program. And historically, the city park just has a bunch of little train and carousel and rides. So it's mostly for little kids. And I didn't really think about the fact that a movie in the park doesn't start until 9 o'clock at night because in the summer it takes a long time to get dark. And so the people that are coming are not the same people that come to ride the train and the carousel. The people coming to the movie are a different group. But I didn't really think that through. I was just like, oh, I don't want to choose the movies on my own. So I'll give a survey to the people who come and ride the train all the time. Well, of course, they chose rated G movies like Charlotte's Web and things like that. When the crowd showed up for the movie, it was all teenagers and people in their 20s and 30s. That was not what they wanted to see. So it's shockingly easy to make that kind of mistake when you're doing a survey or choosing a sample. And so that's really one of the reasons that we have this class, is to really help people when you're thrown into that situation of how do I do a survey? What am I doing? Okay. You want to survey the students in your school about their exercise habits. So at lunchtime, you stand in line at the salad and you survey everyone who bought a salad for lunch. Yeah, that's going to give you some biased results. That is not random. You go to the school library, you randomly choose 50 books to find the average length of each book. Yeah, that sounds really legit. If you're going for what's the average length of books in our school library, that's a great process. So that would give you a nice random representative sample. You want to find out how many students in school must finish their homework before they can watch TV or play video games. You survey all the students in the cafeteria during your lunch period. So this is an interesting one, and this is your decision here might depend a bit on your personal experience from high school. So if you went to a high school that was very small and only had one lunch period and everybody had to go to lunch, then at that same time, then yeah, you probably got some decent results. I mean, you surveyed the whole school. But if you are at a school who maybe juniors and seniors are allowed to leave the school for lunchtime, they can go to fast food or something like that, then you're losing that random representative sample. Or if you're talking about a school that has multiple lunch periods, then again, you're going to lose that random representative sample. So this one will depend a little bit more on those characteristics of the school. You ask 50 people in your local grocery store which grocery store is their favorite. I'm going to guess that most of them are going to say the store they're currently at. So that's going to give you a biased sample. A bank casually selects customers throughout the day to ask them if they are pleased with the service they receive. Yeah, that's definitely going to be biased. If I was a teller and I had somebody screaming at me about something, there's no way if I had a choice, I would hand them a survey and say, oh, please tell me how we're doing. I know it's not going to be good. So that is going to get you a biased sample as well.